to the dumbest city in the whole country. It'll bring back the old Peter.
Huh. It's worth a try.
Hello, everyone. Hello, George.
It's
Hello,
a nice
Shelby.
hello to your guests.
Welcome to Tucson.
That's
A lot of
Shelby
people
lives.
think that's a joke. That's actually what occurs. TSA does that to you when you land in Tucson, Arizona. I'm just letting you know. So if anyone decides to come here, enjoy.
Straight up nut punch, huh?
Yeah, straight to the sack.
Oof. All right, let's say hello, chat, and then we'll chat to Shelby. Robert Shepard's in the house. NTM. Rob embarrassed us all by going on EVS without his helmet. Well, the 7-day window had passed. NTM, unfortunately. Rick Saylor's in the house. George is here. George is always talking in the chat. He's very good.
Thank you.
Von Stugel. Scrolling down. D-Wag's here. Put out the Mo signal for everyone. Where is Mo? He's not here yet. Jim Cox. Scrolling. Rich Ayala's Roach Balls. Good to see you. I borrow ideas. He had a good zinger for me. Where did that go, George? Where did that zinger go?
Yeah, that was early on.
B Rose is here. Man, I'm struggling to see people. 656 Oliver, how you doing? K Manifesto, good show last week. Mo Biggs is here. Good to see you, mate. It did the Skippy thing on me. Johnny Cage is here. That's all I can see. Let's just go from there. How are you, Shelby? How are you, George?
Good. Am I invited? Because it just says Shelby on the title card. I wasn't sure if I was even invited.
You're always invited, George.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Always invited.
Eric McIntyre in the house too. What's up, Eric?
How dare you? Hello, Eric. Good to see you, mate. He ruined one of my drawings that I had by saying it looked like Captain Marvel. I don't like it anymore. What's going on, Shelby? You have a lot going on at the moment. Oh, I don't want that one. I want this one. Ray Charlie's War.
Yeah. It's a comic book.
Yep.
It's got a few backers.
You have this one, Godlike. He doesn't know if he's allowed to talk about it, but you are, because look, it says art by Shelby Robertson.
Okay. John had asked me not to say anything about it, so.
Yeah.
Are you sure he should say anything about it?
Well, it says right here, art by Shelby Robertson.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it, so there's nothing to honestly, I don't know anything.
Next topic, Rob.
You're working on Replicator too?
Yep.
As well? You're doing some
probably
work
probably the best 20 some odd pages that Replicator will have.
Oof.
I'm just putting that. It's because it's that the story that you wrote is kind of fashioned to my strengths, so I think it's going to be a good.
George was adamant that I get Shelby on that story, weren't you, George?
Yes, I love Goliath, so I'm psyched.
Yeah, it's gonna have some slam dunks in it.
Awesome.
It's a
I
fun.
was watching you draw a page.
Yeah, no one really knew what that was, so I just, kind of went with it.
And
it's funny. It's funny to have you two together on a project because you have a couple of similarities and a couple of differences.
One of us can draw and the other can't.
Well, one's a writer, one's an artist.
Same hairstyle.
You both have the 2 highest graded books I ever reviewed on the splintering ever.
Damn.
And neither one of you like any comic books that I like.
I don't think that's true.
I think
that's
it is.
True.
Rob likes the Phantom and Judge Dredd, and you like the X-Men and like Image books.
So okay, so I like 70s and 80s X-Men, and then like late or early 90s Spidey, you know, and then you like some of that stuff. I also like Mike Allred, you know, prior to 2000.
That's fine.
I mean, specifically, yeah.
But it's just strange that your books are. I like them so much, yet I don't like the books that you like. It's just a weird dynamic. I don't follow it. Are you being inspired by stuff and putting your own spin on it? And I like that spin. Like I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It's just something I've been picking up on lately.
Maybe. I see a little bit of Judge Dredd and Replicator.
Do you? How about X-Men? Is there any X-Men in his work? He used the advertisement as the X-Men. Do you remember that, Rob?
Yeah, I can't believe you backed it, George, considering how much you hate the X-Men. like it blows my mind.
Well, you don't say it anymore, though.
No, I mean, Replicator is a little bit of everything. It's really hard to tie it down to. It's similar to this, you know. It's got so many little pieces from so many different things. I forgot what my question was.
So,
but Shelby, you've done well, man, because this is your first campaign.
Ouch.
45 backers.
Mm-hmm.
This is your second. Oh, hang on, it's gone. 117.
Mm-hmm.
$6,000.
Yeah, I fully expected Rachaldi War to be that or less, honestly. Like, I didn't think it was gonna. I kind of thought I peaked.
And now 324. I mean, you're going in the right direction, dude. You got to be happy about that.
Yeah, no, I'm super happy about that. I'm glad I didn't just knock the campaign down too, because when it ended, I was at 185.
Wow, so you've done like nearly double in demand.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but part of that is me just getting out and getting on streams, and the visibility factor. That's the biggest hurdle for all of us.
I think one of the things that was slowing some folks down was you didn't have the original book of it. Like it sold out. You had it originally. It sold out, but then by adding it, all those folks that want to catch up can now catch up.
Yeah, I offered a new. I decided to go ahead and do a second printing of the volume 1. So I just added that, and then I had sent out the secret perk to all the backers, and then so a ton of that is actually attributed to that second printing. So yeah, anyone doing a campaign, if you decide, you know, if stuff sells out, people still want to read it, you know, and may as well offer it. Otherwise, you're just gonna get people downloading bootlegs of it or whatnot. So.
I Borrow Ideas says you have to get up for Shelby having to turn Rob's grunts and gestures into panels and artwork. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, dude.
There's a little bit of
so I think from memory, it was around 20 pages I gave Shelby, I think. And he's like, can we do 24? And I'm like, yes, we can. Let's do it. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I'm trying to be conscious about budget. Like because you're gonna have coloring and all that stuff too. I mean, it's not just line art that you have to worry about. So,
as a fan of Shelby's, George, are you happy that there's going to be more pages?
You're always happy with more pages, provided it doesn't slow the project down. That's my biggest fear always.
Have no fear.
Rick Saylor says, I've been telling everyone about Shelby since the sketchbook, and you guys finally listened. Yeah, I feel like that's
true.
It's kind of the way in CG a bit. Like you've got to be in it for a little while, and then you start getting a bit more traction. I was a little bit different. I kind of came in a little bit hot because of Aaron and Jawbreakers and that kind of stuff. But that's what I've noticed with other people. Like you start building, and it just takes a little bit of time. So you just got to be a little bit patient sometimes.
Well, I like sketchbooks, but there was two things that turned me off on the sketchbook. One, I don't understand mermaids, and two, I'm very tired of the Spider-Man homage covers, not just from Shelby, but from everybody. And you had two options on the Shelby campaign: Spider-Man homage covers or mermaids. So,
I mean.
Mo says it makes me laugh that George pretends to be concerned about the passage of time. That's a good one.
Oh, speaking of time, it's August, right? August 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So now officially 2 months past the due date on Replicator.
Speaking of Replicator, George, I can show you the latest colored page from Bankroll.
I saw.
That
I
one.
got your email update, which I guess it wasn't part of Indiegogo. It was a separate email because I never get updates from Indiegogo, and I was very pleased with what I saw.
Yeah, well, you must have signed up to my email list, George, because I sent it to my email list and I sent it to the Indiegogo backers as well. But he's actually colored another page, and it's looking pretty fire, actually. Except now it's not loading because that's how computers work. I asked him if he wanted to color Shelby, and he said no. He said he's too busy.
Oh,
So
oof.
have to find someone.
Am I going to be coloring myself? Am I going to end up coloring myself?
Dude, don't tempt me because I'll take that every day of the week. I figured you're too busy to color your own work now, Shelby.
No, it's just time. I'm very open about that. I'm very slow. I'm one of those people who I can knock out consistently. I do about 10 pages a week, pencils. Colors, if I'm lucky, 3. Like I feel like 3 is my max. It's just I'm very slow. I don't know what it, it's I'm not a colorist. I just, I try. Luckily people like
Shelby has a flatter.
Mm-hmm.
I say every color should have a flatter. Like it shouldn't even be a discussion point. Like you've got Shelby who puts down the magic on pages. You don't want him doing the grunt work. And flatting, like it's its own art style as well. Like it's its own skill set. You have people that would kill Shelby in flats. They're just faster and better than he is. It's just how it is.
They are, yeah, they are. That's why I decided to. I just dropped some change on my flatter's Dutch, and he does. I mean, he's been around for a bit. He does, yes, absolutely grunt work. Yeah, grunt work is the it's the unsung heroes of comics. Lettering, flatterers, letters, sometimes editors, depends on the editor.
So the script I gave you, Shelby, was pretty basic. Is that how you prefer your scripts? Like it leaves a lot of artistic interpretation for you to do yourself.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of 80s X-Men or Wolverine, so it was perfect. Or if you were to take X-Men Wolverine and merge it with Judge Dredd.
Oh my gosh.
That should be the pitch.
Do you hate Wolverine? George hates Wolverine.
Yeah, I do.
No.
Totally overrated character. Totally overrated character.
I dislike Wolverine drawn by certain artists. It's more of an artistic thing.
What artist do you like drawing them?
I fell in love with Wolverine drawn by Mark Silvestri. Jim Lee's Wolverine wasn't a big deal to me. He was kind of coming on the coattails of Silvestri, I felt like. But Jim Lee did a very awesome Colossus. His Colossus was really good.
I find the idea of a character who has indestructible bones and a healing factor kind of dull. Like, how do you beat him?
Cement. You just throw him in the bottom of the ocean, and
he survives that. Only when you cover him in adamantium, apparently, does he then, and he's still alive underneath it. It's dull.
Why don't
you just described Deadpool.
Just throw him into space. How's he going to get back?
I think the sun can destroy adamantium.
I don't think it would. Sure. I don't think it would. That's how interesting he is. Nothing can stop him.
I don't think there's such thing as an overrated character. If people like it, then it's a good character. Captain Marvel. What do you think about that one?
Rick likes Wolverine.
Yeah, so does Chauncey Blakey. Wolverine is one of the best, especially Silvestri's.
Yeah, the artist sold it. Just like Hulk. I never cared for Hulk I cared for Hulk when I was a little kid because of Lou Ferrigno, not because of the comics.
Yes.
And then when I got older, Del Keone's Hulk is the only
Hmm.
reason I cared about Hulk. I didn't like McFarlane's, and I know that might be sacrilegious. I did not like Todd's Hulk. It reminded me too much of it was like a generic version of a John Byrne's Hulk run, in my opinion.
Sam Keith's Wolverine.
Marvel Comics Presents, that was groundbreaking. Yeah, Stephen Platt has a career thanks to Sam Keith. He took
George,
a lot from him.
You had some questions for Shelby, didn't you?
No.
Nope.
You said you did.
Did I?
I said I have stuff in case he doesn't show up, but he's sitting right there.
I thought you said you had questions for him.
I did want to mention one thing. Rick Saylor talked about it in your chat yesterday. He's like, have you ever thought about putting a retailer tier in your campaign? Have you not seen those in other campaigns before, or what they are? It's usually a discounted tier for retailers, but they buy multiple copies. So let's say your book is $25, you would get 10 copies for $200.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of combine the shipping a little bit too to make it a little bit more affordable for a retailer to buy a larger bulk quantity of it. That's what he was talking about.
Right. I think I just know. Yeah, I've never offered one of those.
And he was asking, have you ever thought about it?
Yeah, I've actually produced retailer variants before. The problem, I was telling Rick, the problem that I run into is that retailers want diamond pricing. It's not about that pricing. They're like, can I get your 56-page trade for $4.50 and free ship? That's kind of what happens. And I'm like, no, because I'm already producing a brand new free cover. They're not paying for it. And yeah.
What do you think of Simon Bisley's work on Lobo, Shelby?
It was pretty decent.
Is there anyone in CG you want to work with, or what's your plan for the future? You gonna do more collaborative stuff, or you want to just get Ragetality cranking?
I'm gonna do everything. I'm working right now. I'm working on Ragetality War #1 and #2. I've been working on them both at the same time. I kind of flip flop. I have enough time where I might do an early launch on #2 just because I'm making good progress on it.
You're not going to launch before you fulfill 1, are you?
I might launch the campaign and just let people wait till they get it. It might happen because it's all one story. George is saying no.
Whatever you want to do is fine.
No.
Just shaking that head, George. Who do you want to work with, Shelby? Is there anyone you're looking forward to working with or want to work with?
Well, I'm working with you. So Malin announced I'm working on his supplemental book. I'm already doing some stuff with Frege. Frege was pretty much a guarantee. I mean, we had spoken years ago, about working on stuff with Black Flag. So regardless where Dan took it, I was already connected. Yeah, I don't know. Zaid, Phil and I've been talking a little bit, but I know he's focused on Lost Pages right now. Yeah, I'm not really sure. There's a lot of talent coming up too. I don't know if you guys watch Twitter. There's a lot of artistic, a lot of people that aren't published that are coming up.
Who are they?
The fan art stuff.
Who are they, and what's their Twitter handle? Asking for a friend. That's me.
So what you do is you go in and look at the fan arts posted for like Sovereign Wolf. Look at the fan arts posted for oh geez, I'm trying to think of this. I'm trying to think of the campaigns. The Viking Wolf campaign had a big art contest thing. Joe Sontag, even Joe's one, who's with the right production crew, I think he's going to shine.
You got a few disagreeing comments, George. Shelby's fulfilled before, so I trust him if he launched a new campaign without fulfilling the other.
It's not about the trust. It's about the excitement about when you get the book. So when you're getting that book in your hand, you're more excited to back the next one. I trust Shelby to fulfill it, but I'm a little bit more hesitant. If you want that day one surge, you're going to wait till people are getting those books in that hand. They're getting that feeling like this is great, and then they're going to back you. But do whatever you want. That's what artists do anyway.
It's true.
George is sounding like one of my parents right now.
I get that so much.
Do you? I was going to ask George a question, but I won't ask it. I'll ask him later. Do you want to show some of that Replicator stuff off, Shelby, that you've been working on?
Not really.
You were
I'll show you the one
streaming it.
page. I got the one page that's finished here. I'm not showing you that DPS.
Oh,
That's the money shot. I saw Antoine on Bancroft's showing off the book. Looked cool.
Yeah, it did look good, man.
Yeah. No, it's just one of the pages. It's one of the pages, the warehouse scene with the truck, and I'm gonna Photoshop in
Big screen, Rob.
the chain link fence. You don't need to be seen. This is an early
Show.
So, anyways, thugs, thug life, truck, sound effect. Oops, sorry, sound effect, guns. Yeah, and I'm going to come in Photoshop. I'm doing the chain link. I didn't want to. I did not want to commit to it on the original, because what happens is, as soon as you're drawing things that overlap, like in the foreground, that are probably going to be like blurred out or fuzzy in the coloring process, you're stuck with that. You can't shift that stuff, because all the line art and stuff is colored. So
Johnny Cage says, "Do you want to show it?" Nah.
So you were on K Manifesto's show earlier in the week, Shelby, right? And someone brought up a question, and you answered it. Very eloquent answer. I was talking about having more of the book done before launch. In fact, the question even was, should the book be completely done before launch? And you said, no, that's not crowdfunding. That's more of a pre-order.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's two. Yeah. You want me to expand on that?
Mm-hmm.
I
just wanted to summarize it, and we could move on. Yeah, I want you to.
Okay. So most people who are crowdfunding books aren't in a financial position where they can actually get the book finished before launching a campaign. That's all I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then if let's say Ragetality War was at 300,000 or even 100,000. And again, I stick to I and me statements. If I was at $100,000 on Ragetality War, I can guarantee you Ragetality War 2 would have been completed before launch. There's a big difference, because I would have had the resource to actually knock it out. And at that point, yeah, I'd be using crowdfunding as essentially a pre-order, and it would be fulfilled like super quick too. I don't really understand sometimes with I know with promoting, and you want to get as many backers as you can and all that, but that's just not part of like my reality that I'm grounded in. Is I have people that I pay, and so a lot of times we all have bills, we all have lives, and everyone has a different life experience and a different setting. So yeah, it's really just the funding side. I feel like the funding side, it's like 9 out of 10 questions can be answered with money sort of idea, where until you see it, like my flatter, I have a flatter, right? Yeah, I'm paying him out of a pocket before any funds from Indiegogo or transferred or anything else. Like I'm already sending him, and it adds up. Especially like I always feel for the writers, because writers essentially is kind of what I'm doing, except the visual side. Like comics is a visual medium, so like 90% of your funds is going to go towards the visual side. I feel like, as far as production costs, writers tend to not draw, so you're gonna have to pay your penciler. If you need an inker, you're paying an inker, you're paying a colorist, you're paying a letterer, you're paying someone to do your digital pre-press most of the time. I don't know a lot of writers who understand file setup. So there's a lot of expense.
I do not like messing with file setup, because that's where stuff goes wrong, and then you're screwed, and you could mess up the print, and that's the worst possible scenario. But I want to play devil's advocate a little bit here. I agree, like it is crowdfunding, right? The first issue is definitely crowdfunding, but I think when you're starting to do issue 2 and 3 and 4, like to me it starts to get away from that whole crowdfunding scenario and turns more into like a pre-order. I don't think you can I don't think you can follow the same method of crowdfunding for each book you do. Like get 5 pages done, a couple of covers, crowdfund it, get it paid for, then complete it, and then go to issue 2 and do the exact same thing. Like how long is that going to take to get books done, George?
It seems to be taking quite a long time. To extrapolate a little further, though, what I'm starting to see, there's multiple trends, right? There's folks that don't want to back a new creator because they've taken so long to get their first book out. But then there's creators that have had their second and third book out, and then what they're doing is they're crowdfunding their book successfully, and instead of releasing it, and I'm not trying to pick on Shelby, even though he brought this up earlier, saying I'm going to crowdfund another one before I finish the first, sending out the first one. Like I'm seeing that trend now too. Like if you're doing one book, releasing it, second book, releasing it, that's one thing. I understand why you got to do it. But then when you're stacking campaigns and they're all successful, like when is that trend going to end? Like when are we going to start seeing people having this book? That's what we're saying. Like,
do you think that it's a little bit of like the whole Robin Peter to pay Paul scenario, or do you think
a little bit?
Or do you think, well, because the thing is, a lot of campaigns, when they have multiples, there's multiple people involved, right? So, I don't know. It's weird. I think everything is like a case by case scenario.
Like, are they launching this second book because they ran out of money on the first one, and they need the second campaign to? I'm asking you specifically now. Why are you launching Rage 2 before you give me Rage 1? What's going on with that?
Oh, completion. It's for me, for myself, it would be a completion issue because I'm working on both simultaneously. If I'm just saying, if I might not do it, I don't know. It depends on how far I am on it. But yeah, I might not. I don't know. I'm just mentioning it because I was thinking of it being a possibility. I was looking at, you can't see it. There's 200 pages of art right here that are all in different stages of being finished.
How many of those has Rick bought?
This is Rick's stack, and this is everyone else. Yeah. Not really.
Antoine says, I don't expect projects to be complete prior to crowdfunding, but I like to see the creative team put some skin in the game.
Yeah.
Me neither too, as well. But
I have yet to meet a colorist who doesn't want pay up front or pay for the pay. Like there's no wimpy scenario with people I've worked with like colorists or letters or whatever. I'm not like, hey, I'm gonna pay you in 3 months when the crowdfund is done.
I just think that like you have to if you can, and not everyone can, but you have to move towards getting more of your book done prior to launch, right? I mean, because I just don't think you can do like 5 pages, crowdfund it, get it finished, and then start another crowdfund for 5 pages, get that finished. Like as George says, people are only interested in your book for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that sounds like a pyramid scheme. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's like I said, it's a case by case, and that there's certain creators are like their work ethic, right? And then they kind of prove it through time, I think. Another one that you're talking about, like with people who treat crowdfunding as a store, I think the biggest one to me would be like the Lady Death campaigns. They're not even in stores anymore. You just see it on Kickstarter, right? And consistently pulling 6 figures. And but I think that he's consistently getting them into people's hands because Polito's Arizona based, and I have a lot of friends here within like geek culture, and a lot of them back all of the stuff Polito does, and they show me the stuff. I do not, but they show me the books. Most of it's like TNA stuff, but it's what they like, and so they're consistently getting stuff, like actually receiving it, you know. So the I think that they're appeased because the fulfillment side is being taken care of, and so they're real quick to back the next thing he pops, you know, that he's popping up.
I mean, me personally, I want to get to the point where the books are done prior to launch, but that's just me. I know not everyone can do that. I certainly wouldn't expect a first issue person to do it. I think it's impossible. Like, there's no way I could have done that with Replicator 1. Zero chance. But for me, that's the way I want to go. Eric says, there is a time coming very soon when waiting for a book for 6 months is going to be unacceptable. What do you think about that, George?
I like it. I like the attitude. I've been waiting on books for, for some of this case, like close to 2 years, and folks are still launching more and more campaigns on top of them, and it's starting to be kind of like, what are we doing here? So, like, this is not a dig towards either one of you guys. I'm just speaking in generalities. That's why the question was coming up. Like, lots of folks are very late right now.
Yeah, I don't feel attacked at all, George. Honestly, okay. I don't. I know my own capabilities, and I know what I'm able to do for other people, and that. But like, once it's like, if I'm helping someone with their campaign or whatever, it's out of my hands at that point. You know, like if I'm doing coloring or inking or penciling, as soon as they have those files, I'm affiliated by the art site, and that's it. You know, like if they drop the ball with the fulfilling side or just updates or whatever, that's not on me. I don't see it as on me. I know it can kind of come back and bite you in the butt, by the affiliation side. But
just to clarify a little further, your Sketchbook campaign and 94 were both actually fulfilled early.
Yeah, a month early on one and 6 weeks on the second. Well, between a month and 6, because some people had to wait for sketches. I had a sketch thing, and it took me like 2 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think that that's a norm though. The books that I've backed, I've never gotten an early book, not once.
I only ever did once, and it was yours.
Okay.
Glacier Mountain Comics. So you don't think a first-time creator could have the book done before launch? How far should we be launching, in your opinion? Before we're launching, in your opinion? It's a case-by-case basis, man. I mean, there's going to be some first-timers that put $20,000 down and get all of it done. But
that exists.
It does exist, and I couldn't do that. I don't think the vast majority could do that. I don't know what the minimum would be, George. Do you have a thought on what the minimum would be?
No, it's less about how much of the book is done and more about how long till the book is fulfilled. Like, I don't know how long each book takes everyone to make. Shelby seems to be very fast. I know Rob has a lot of moving parts that he's relying on, so it's different between the two. Rob's 2 months late, by the way. Let's talk about this again.
Things occur too. I'm sorry. Things happen too where as a writer, like I'm gonna defend Rob for a second. So like as a writer, you don't always have. Okay, so like you have this great idea for a campaign. You're gonna go forward with it, right? You get the artist to sign on, and they finish 5 or 6 pages, right? You use those for your campaign, and then during the campaign, your artist says, "Peace, I'm out. I found another gig." This has happened. It happens often, right?
Yep.
So then whose fault is it that the book's not getting worked on? It's not the writer's fault because they're not an illustrator. I'm just saying this does exist.
Which is fine. Which is back to the initial question: is should the book then be done before it's launched? That way, things like that don't happen.
No one has the crystal ball. That's my problem. That's what I'm saying. Like when you're not the artist, I think it's harder. But when you're the artist, there's really not a lot of excuses. Besides I broke my hand or some, a family thing like health issues and stuff. I don't really see any other excuse for an artist. A writer, I do feel bad for writers though, just because of that one aspect.
Manifesto says, is Shelby's sketchbook still available?
No, it's sold out. I did prints to exactly what the orders were. I think I went like 10 over in case of damages, and most of those are gone.
But going back to Eric's point that, longer than 6 months is going to be unacceptable in the future. The only way that you're going to get around like less than 6 months is if the vast majority of the book is finished. I don't see like
The other thing
you-
that backers are talking about, we're talking about doing, is just not funding when the book launches. If we know that, like, if a creator has a history of going in demand and running late, it might not be a day one back. A lot of the day one backs are over for folks. So I don't mind waiting 6 months as long as it's 6 months out of my pocket. Like if it took you a year and a half to fulfill it, but I backed it 3 weeks before you closed the campaign down, I'm not waiting so long.
Yeah, I know for a fact that Joe Sontag there, he's putting himself underwater on his campaign by choice. He's hired very high-priced talent to work with him, and so I mean, he is trying to. I think he's trying to kind of do the route that you're saying, George, like getting a book complete, right? I don't know necessarily that's your stance or not, but I'm saying like having the book complete before launch. I know that Joe is actually working towards that, at least a large percentile of it complete. And but that's a huge undertaking financially, like huge.
massive, especially with the quality that Joe is using in particular.
Yeah, he's got top cow guys working on his book. Like they make more than I make on colors and pencils combined. Like it's a stupid amount. So yeah.
Sultan of Zanzibar, hello. I don't mind day one backing for a project when the creator has proven themselves in past campaigns. I'm wary of backing new creators that early, though. That's interesting.
What if you back someone? What if you back someone that's consistently late, though? I'm just using as a generic example. Would you still be willing to back them day one?
I will not personally. I don't.
That's my point. I'm not saying day one is over, but if it's someone that you know is going to put it out on time, even put it out early, or maybe he's running a 60-day campaign with no in-demand period, all those things change how you're going to back. But if you know somebody runs late and they have it in demand the whole time, why back day one?
Yeah, I think updates are important. Maybe like because your job as a creator is to you don't want to sell the sizzle. You don't want to give it's like trailers for movies today. You don't want to give it all away, right? Because then you ever see a movie and you're like, the trailer showed all the best parts. That's one thing that I kind of fear with comics is, people want to see that you're busy on it, but when you're showing too much, I do like, there is a campaign right now. I think he did a good thing, and when I say I'm absolutely going to steal this idea for my next Raid Shadow War 2. He has an image showing all the thumbnails and the progress, but it's so small that you can't really see exactly what's going on. I think it's
does that.
The octopus, the 6-gun octopus. Or
Shane Davis did it for Starlight Cats.
Yeah, Shane did it too.
I borrow ideas. A lot of times says things tongue in cheek, but he's, to me, very serious in here. What do you mean by finished? Many campaigns say that it's finished or nearly finished, and more than 8 months or later, they're still working on it. I can name you multiple campaigns like that, unfortunately.
I mean, like I've run into it in this one, and that's why for me, I want to try and get books done before launching, because we shouldn't be late. Like we shouldn't be. We had ample time to get it done. Yet this is where. But
just to move on from the conversation, like we said, Shelby's been early on both of his campaigns. You got this one here, Shelby, which you're saying fulfillment January of 2022. It's already August. Are you, as of right now, on pace to make that time?
I'm ahead. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. I'm ahead. Yeah.
Well, tell us.
I've been working on 2. No, I've been working on 2. I've been working on issue 2 as well. I have so much time that I've been working on number 2 as well. So yeah, I'm doing good. I'm in a good position on mine right now. So I figure if it's on time, that's good. I'm not really. Comics are fun to me. I'm appreciative of everyone that backs my books and helps make them a legitimate thing. But yeah, I have, I'm kind of old school. I get yelled at by my wife a lot. I don't use like our Google Calendar and stuff. I never plug into there. I have a wire planner and I have a daily planner, and I literally write what pages I'm working on that day, and then I use a highlighter and I highlight it every day when I work on stuff. So
Speaking of your wife yelling at you, why did you try and throw her under the bus when you insulted the entire state of Ohio and their lack of Mexican restaurants yesterday? What was that all about?
Oh, that was her. No, that was her. Yeah, she said she wanted some Taco Bell yesterday, and she's gonna hear me, George. She's gonna come in here and slap me in the head.
That would be so great.
Yeah.
No, please say like.
She was talking about she was hungry, and we have so nearby, very close to the house, we have an authentic Mexican restaurant. Okay. When I say restaurant, I mean it's a hole in the wall, but it's authentic. Very, very good food. And I said, oh. She's like, I want Mexican. I was like, how? So I'll go to El Beto's. She goes, no, go to Taco Bell, which is further. It's closer to the university. And I was like, but that's not like Mexican. And she made a comment about it being, it's authentic Mexican if you live in the state of Ohio. I think verbatim is what she said. And then found out Rick Saylor is
he's not the only one in the chat from Ohio, by the way. So
oh really?
No, yeah. Unhinged is there from there too.
Okay.
Let me read this. Going into the red to complete Siamese fulfillment is actually getting me some flack at home. I have to hope the subsequent campaigns are rewarding enough to show it was worth it. Yeah, I didn't reach a profit until my third campaign, Dojo. So I'd say that's pretty common for everyone.
Yeah, I lost $800 on Raciality War, or not on 94 #1. Oddly enough, I made money on my sketchbook.
Taco Bell got rid of their one Mexican dish, the Mexican pizza.
They got rid of the enchilada. That was my go-to.
What's an enchilada? Exactly.
It's a burrito smothered in enchilada sauce. And it was fantastic. Yeah, if you were ever plugged up, you could eat 2 of those and it would take care of it.
Oh.
Unhinged said Ohio sucks. I did see this.
God, Shelby. Eric says, I have friends and family that are interested in CG books, but they're mostly collector items. It is not friendly to a reader's market. What do you think about that, George?
I read everything I get. Everything I get, whether it's crowdfunding or anything. I don't buy something and put it in a bag and board and never look at it ever again. I have to read it. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of anti-Shelby because he puts his books in slabs. Like he gets his books graded, which drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a book that was graded and cracked it out of it and sliced my hand pretty bad trying to get it out of there. The book was fine though, so don't worry.
Well, I mean, you get what you deserve when you break a slab. They're in there for a reason, George.
The books are made to be read, so they're not in there for a reason. They should be taken out for a reason.
If it's an older book and it's in pristine mint condition, you should absolutely be slabbed.
You can get a collection. Made to be read.
Get a collection.
You mean get a trade and then have the... That's actually indeed what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, George is referring to, I have I have 3 different books, which are like the first and second appearance of Mike Allred's Madman, his independent character Madman. And they're very, very good condition. So I decided to get them graded just because of that. Books I had in my collection for like 35 years.
Do you have any books graded, Rob? Well, do you have any books, Rob? No.
I have lots of books. I don't have any graded. I actually read Monster MD yesterday. I enjoyed it. It was good. I've browsed a few CG books, but I've never actually read one in earnest.
Wow.
Jasper says F slabs. Anti-Shelby. The one thing I get from Taco Bell is the Baja Blast.
Oh, it's like a soda, I think.
It sounds nice. Coloring books don't count.
Yeah, I was talking about that. I was talking about that on my test stream yesterday because I actually hate Mountain Dew. I don't like the taste, nothing about it. But for some reason, the Baja Blaster is so good. I don't know why. And I'm like,
I only drink water and Mountain Dew. That's all I drink.
I mean, water's good.
That's crazy. Like
Shelby likes He-Man, just so you know.
Not the new one.
He likes all of He-Man.
No. I only like.
He has his toys with
original. Yeah, the original ones right there.
The original ones that were just made like within the past year.
I can't afford the old ones. I can't. I used to have all the old ones when I was younger. I just they went to the wayside with my my Shogun Warriors and my GI Joes and my masks. They were given away by parents that don't respect the toys.
Can we type 1 in the chat if you're going to go to Taco Bell today? Eric says, I'd like to see CG get to the point where back issues are readily available and not $60.
Is that a problem? Is it like, I'm legit asking, is that a problem? Like our
good luck finding original printing of Jawbreakers or Malin's.
Well, can't you just get them
what's
on
the first
the
Malin book
back
called?
end? Yeah, Graveyard Shift. Are you
Graveyard Shift. Yeah.
Are they not offered on the back end?
As
Like
reprints.
as an add-on?
Reprints.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I mean, okay, so doesn't that kind of give incentive for you to be part of the original? You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like bands, like band merch. If you had an original shirt from like Nirvana '92, right? Like that's an original shirt. Like you know, that's why they're coveted, because the band could only afford to print 20 of them. You know what I mean? Like they had no money. So
I saw Nirvana in concert in 1991.
You also saw, who else did you see? You also saw a rap band.
Cypress Hill. I also saw the Beastie Boys. I think you have a Beastie Boys shirt on.
Yeah.
They were with
I can just see George in the crowd. Everyone's like just moshing out.
I was
George's
not
like,
happy.
No, too loud. Turn it down.
Yep.
Too
I
loud.
went to the back and I waited. It was at a gymnasium at a local college. It was terrible.
Oh,
A Tribe Called Quest.
So what's the deal with Mountain Dew over there? Because we have it here and no one drinks it.
I love it.
Over there, it's like almost as popular as Coke.
I can't stand it. I like vanilla Coke and cherry Coke for dark soda. Vanilla Coke and cherry Coke, and that's it.
I do like cherry Coke.
Yeah, I like Coke and whiskey. Like I like my Coke and whiskey or rum and Cokes or whatever.
It's like the high rollers at the casino will buy like a $300 glass of what is it, bourbon, and they'll mix it with Coke.
I would.
Would you really?
Yeah. Oh, crazy, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried a shooter of some reserve. It was like some reserve of like a Kraken or something, and it was horrible.
George at a Cypress Hill concert sipping Mountain Dew, unimpressed, is a great visual. George, I tell you, this comic writes itself.
Shelby, so I was at Nirvana in 1991, and these guys were doing this mosh thing that I'd never seen before.
Right.
And one guy had his shirt off, and he was sweaty, and he fell on his back. And when he stood up, all of the garbage that was on the floor was stuck on his sweaty back. And I started freaking out. And I went to the back of the gymnasium and I waited for my buddy to come so we could leave. I was freaking out. I didn't know who they were. But yeah, I saw Nirvana. They weren't very good.
Nirvana's a great band. I love Nirvana. But you don't like Guns N' Roses either, George.
No, I do not. I do like the Foo Fighters, though.
Do you? I like the first two albums, only because they sound like Nirvana. I don't like it. Everything after that sounds like the Eagles.
Eric says, I mostly want to read the books. I will gladly pay for a newsprint edition or some other low quality print.
That's happening. That's happening with Alterna. You're seeing it.
Yeah.
So
go, Shelby.
The newsprint thing isn't as easily available for printing. I'm just gonna let you know, for printing, and also there's a few printers that I use regularly who offer newsprint paper for the print, right? They cost like 50 cents more a book for some reason. They're taking advantage of the fact that people are doing this, so they're cranking the price up on that stock, which it wasn't a year ago. It wasn't. But so many people are trying to go the retro 80s Marvel, and so now that they're doing it so much, like I said, they're like, oh, okay, and like instead of a floppy being a $1.35, it's now $4.05. I'm not kidding about that either. It's like an actual thing that's happening. So
I think newsprint is possibly the way to go in the future. I think it's too early for everyone right now, but these are meant to be premium books, right? If we want to get more readers, there needs to be a cheaper option for it. Newsprint seems like a good way to do it. I don't know. What do you think, George?
I think the newsprint idea is a great idea. You still have the premium version with premium paper, plus that'll be the first printing. So people like the collectability of the first printing, you'll get the folks there. But maybe if you miss the campaign or you just want to read what it's about, I think it's great.
George was spoiled after seeing Bark live. That's a good one, Mo. Zayd's going to take a shower. Thanks, man, for letting us know that.
Oh.
A premium product for backers and a standard product for readers.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Antoine.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a good idea. Like I said, though, the printers that I've been using, like I said, there's an uptick in their costs of that specific paper stock, and it makes no sense to me other than so many people are jumping to that because it was cheaper, right? That they're recognizing that. But the thing is too, though, they're not doing it because it's making it a cheaper option. They're doing it because people like the newsprint, and they're still having it at the same price point as the glossy, and that's my point.
This is interesting. I prefer digital to newsprint, George. What are your thoughts on that?
No. I'll never read anything digital.
I actually don't offer digital for any of my products. So.
No, I wouldn't read that.
Yeah, some people try and send me digital stuff too, and I just. It's like I'd rather just wait for the book.
You send out digitals with your books, Rob.
I do. Yeah, some people like it. It's not my personal taste, but here's something that I'm kind of leaning towards, and I think is something I'm going to do. I think all comics should be signed when we're charging this amount of money now. I didn't do it in the last campaign, but moving forward, I think I'm going to make sure that all books are signed. What do you think, George?
I like signatures. Some folks might not. Shelby signed his books, and I was appreciative of it.
Do you sign the cover or the inside cover, though?
I signed the front cover with an oil-based metallic pen. Because when it dry, you want to use the oil base. The water base doesn't dry correctly and has a transparency to it. The oil based metallic Sharpie. It's ones you shake that you have to like dab them a bit to get the ink flow going. Yeah, the oil base work really well. You could write on glass and it'll stick. I mean, they're a good pen. But like I said, you got to check it. You got to make sure it's not the water. It'll say oil in red or water will be in blue at the very bottom, but the pen looks exactly the same. So I've accidentally purchased water ones before and then found out after the first signature, and I'm like, oh, crap, that wasn't good.
There's only one pen for signatures now, and it's this one.
Jojo asked, do people want the writer's signature or only the artist? Whoever's involved in the project that we can get, that would be great. I know for Monster MD, Von Klaus signed it and Eric signed it, and people loved that. So
Jasper says, Graham, Nolan, Billy Tucci, the gold standard for what's expected for a $25 book. How so? Explain. Elaborate. Rob found a great pen for signing, or was it Bancroft? I can't remember. I know. I think every book should be signed for free, personally. Rick says, I actually prefer the signature on the inside.
Sorry, Rick.
If it's a floppy comic, I prefer it on the cover. If it's a trade, I prefer it on the interior.
Was that Bancroft's chrome pen from Perth Comics? No, it's my chrome pen. Signatures, he doesn't like, Eric. Some people don't like signatures, though, Shelby.
I have a question. I'm going to derail this real quick. if you're obviously not mainland US, right? So if you're running a campaign and majority of your backers were in the States, right? And if you were to find a fulfillment company over here, how important is that signature? I guess that's where I'm going with this, is that, because we all know what shipping is, and everyone hates paying that international shipping. There are fulfillment centers in the States. If you offered that signed, that would be a big undertaking, because then you would have to ship all of your stock to you, sign them, or you'd have to fly, which isn't really a thing now.
Well, there's a few things about that. I want to answer first. He could get a page and just sign the page and ship the pages when he gets the books bound, like a tipped in a signature page for one. But Rob is real manic about his shipping. I don't think he would trust anyone else to do it.
No, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
I'm just asking because I know Canadians who do crowdfundings, and what they do is the fulfillment centers here, they never come stateside. They just have the fulfillment center. They just send them the orders and have them. I'm the same. I'm the same as you though. I don't trust someone else doing it right.
When Billy Tucci has his books, when you're backing it, there's a little drop down, if you've ever seen this before, and you can select signature or no signature. And he doesn't charge anything extra for it.
And that's what I think. Like, people are already paying enough money. Like, it's $25 usually, right? You should chuck a signature in it for free, I think, if the person wants it, which some people don't, apparently. For me, I like my signatures on the inside front cover because I don't like the art getting covered up. I don't care who it is. Honestly, I want to see the art. That's what we're here for. Sensational art. I Borrow Ideas says the same thing. Leave it as an option, but don't charge me for a signature when we're paying a premium. At this point, you're nickel-in and diming me. That's fair. Sign in the inside if you must, but not the cover. I can't imagine, like, for the people that are saying they don't like signatures, Jasper, for the people that are saying they don't like signatures, would it really annoy you to have the signature on the inside cover? Like, that surely couldn't wreck the art. It's not going to ruin the book.
Is this a new debate? Are we going to start this?
It might have just happened. I don't know. I'm a huge signature collector.
I've always signed only the fronts, just because I usually have content on page one. Like, I don't usually have a filler page.
Do you want to read that one, George?
Rob Arnold? No, what's it mean?
Shelby will read that, won't you, Shelby?
Yeah, Rob Arnold signing books is of great value.
Oh, I like the art taint free. Sign on the inside. I like that. Give people the option. The only thing that worries me about that is, and I guess, first world problems, that's going to make it more annoying to fulfill. Like, you've got to separate things into who's got signatures, who doesn't have signatures, but, tough luck. Give the people what they want. If your name is Shelby Robertson or Dan Fragger, go ahead and sign my book. Ouch, Jim. Thanks. I don't mind SIGs on floppies. I do not like them on perfect bound, though. I think we might do a poll on Twitter about this and see.
Great, someplace I can't vote.
Yeah.
See where people.
I always state in my campaigns. I always state it's going to be signed. This specific thing is signed. Like, I'm like very specific. Like, the trade is signed. Ash cans are not, because there's a million of them that's going to roll in.
And it just like, because they're paying $25, right? They're paying a premium. Having the signature makes it even a little bit more rare, even if you don't like signatures, right? So when it does go to the newsprint version, which is cheaper, the premium has more value, even if you don't think the person's signature is worth it. I think that's the way I see it. Find my previous comment, Rob. That's not offensive. Oh, that's all right, man. I like offensive comments. I get them all the time. We're pretty much at an hour now. Is there any topics or final points, George and Shelby, that you want to say?
I'm really excited about this campaign. Like I think I've told you before, Rob, I've backed other campaigns 2 and 3 times. This is the first campaign I ever backed 4 times. So I'm really excited for this book. I think, folks, if you haven't had a chance to pick it up, give it a shot. There's a tier in there where you can get caught up with the previous book. But I think Shelby added 12 pages as a preview to kind of for folks that are new readers to get caught up. So if you just read this one, you'll know what the story is, correct?
Yes. Yeah. There is a prologue that I added, and I added additional pages and also other additional pages because as a creator, sometimes you see some holes and you're like, oh, I need to add some more content. And so as of right now, this book's going to be, I think it says it's going to be 86 pages. But ironically, I'm at 94 pages again, which is silly. I went through my pagination, and the volume 1 is 94 pages as well. So it's like, oh, I'm seeing a...
You've got to get this, guys. This is too
Serendipitous.
good value not to get. I've got this.
I got it.
I actually annoyed that I didn't see this one. I probably would have got that. But look at all what you get. Plus, you get... It's an original page, isn't it, Shelby?
Yeah, it's an original page. And I'm actually going to upgrade the boxes I ship because I was using 12 by 18 by 4s on the previous campaign. And I didn't feel like there was enough breathing room. So I'm going to go up to a 13 by 19 by 3 3/4, I think.
That's interesting. Without a signature, a certificate of authenticity, the signature is invalid.
I don't agree.
You don't agree or do agree?
I don't agree.
And are the people going to get to choose the page, Shelby? How's that going to work?
Yeah, it's whatever your spot is in line. I'm going to create a Google Drive as soon as all the artwork's done. I'm going to create a Google Drive link that as soon it's just like domino effect. Whichever number backer you are is where you're going to land. But there's no bad pages. Like honestly, there's no bad pages in it. So, and the pages that an artist would call a throwaway are not going to be ones offered in there. I purposely only offered like 75% of the pages from the books, just because I kind of anticipated a quarter of them are going to be too much. Like no one wants a bunch of head pages when you have another page with ragetality, jumping at you and stuff. So.
Mm-hmm.
So I backed the tier that comes with the panel page, Rob, same tier as you. And then when I backed again, I got one of the covers for one of the ash cans. If you scroll up a little bit.
What?
I'll scroll up a little more. That one. The one with him with the 2. Yep, I got that one. And then when I backed
nice.
Yeah, and then when I backed again, I got another panel page and a splash page.
So you went all out on this campaign, George.
I did. I absolutely did. That's how much I believe in it.
I mean, like, you're not going to find better value than this anywhere on any campaign. I don't think you're going to... Any campaign is going to be better value than this, honestly. And I'm not just saying that. Like, you get all this plus a page from Shelby. Oh, my God, just get it. There's only 2 of them left as well. Links in the description.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only 2 left, man. Like, you're right there. They're almost done.
Oh, wow.
George wants all the pages. Rick says, shit, I get the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd picks then. Did you really?
Oh, wow.
Damn, I want to check what number I was. Because I thought I was pretty early, but if Rick's got 1, 2, and 3.
I think he's referring to probably because remember I had a double page splash add-on. I had the splashes, and then I also had the panels. I think Rick, I'm not really sure. I'm not going to give away his personal info. I think he did 3 separate things is what I'm saying. I don't think it was 3 of 1 is what I'm saying. I might be wrong, but I don't think that's what he did.
George, what do you store your original art in?
I have portfolios with acid-free sleeves, so I can just like turn them like you're turning a very large binder.
Is it these guys?
It's similar. It's not that exact one, but it's very similar.
The Utrecht.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys want to see some Deadpool originals?
Yes, big screen, Rob.
Here, I'll show you some Deadpool originals.
Deadpool, don't you?
But people want to see it though.
I want to back that tier, but I'm afraid the only option I'll get is the thank you page. Sure.
Oh no.
Shelby
I'll
said
show
they're
you
all
guys.
bangers.
Yeah. So these are all from the last work I did for Marvel, which was inking Liefeld. So you got the pencils, you got some inks. Yeah, you got some Deadpool booty. Yeah. So these are all pages from that. I did like half that book. It's the Deadpool Bad Blood hardcover. I don't think there's going to be a sequel. There might be, but Rob sent me pages for that. Yeah, here's some pencils. This is Liefeld pencils here, and then my inks.
So how much are you selling those
Sorry for the glare. Sorry for the glare. Oh, I'm not. These are. Yeah, I don't know where the ink page is there.
I think Rick might.
These are ridiculous. I don't want to tell you. These are ridiculous because I've had a few pieces go for more than what my first campaign did.
Wow.
Yeah, this is what I would call throwaway. So like something like this is something I wouldn't even offer as like someone dropping $100 on an original. I wouldn't even, I get that bottom panel is okay, but riddled with silhouettes. That's one of the things that I'm not. Geez, I don't even know what else is in here. Let me see. See, this is like nobody wants this on their wall.
Rick might.
I mean, I don't. That's why it's in the back of this book.
Do you just keep pages that you worked on? Do you have pages that you collect as well?
No, I usually get rid of them. You can see. Okay, so you can see stuff here. It's going to be very hard to tell, but like when things like this are like drawn real wonky, like super wonky, like the head right there on Kane. It's the guy right here, right? I'll actually come in. You can't tell. I'll actually come in and like move stuff around and fix it. There was a few splash pages in here too, where I completely moved Deadpool over 2 inches, like to the side. Yeah. Now there's a few pieces that I got that I'm not going to separate with, and a few of them are not published too. He had sent me some pages that were supposed to be for the follow-up book to that, and then they nixed it, and then he started sending me like Youngblood stuff. He was doing some Youngblood book or something.
What's this?
Work in progress page from Bancroft, Replicator 3.
That looks great.
Looks sick, huh?
What do you think, Shelby?
Cover your ears, George. I think it looks pretty badass. I like it. I like the red. I really like the red. I like the red a lot.
Yeah, he added like this sick effect in here.
Yeah, that's what I like right there.
Yeah.
As well as here, like the cables are sparking as well, which is really cool. And like I like this on the silhouette. It's kind of like fading away. It's very
Ivar
cool.
Idea says, "Why is there no green on that page? How do we know that that's Michael?"
We don't, I guess, is the answer to that. We're going to wrap it up there, though, guys. Make sure you back Rage Taldy's War. It's one of those. You know how everyone always says it's one of those campaigns that should have more backers. This one should. Yeah. So make sure you back it. And that's pretty much it. George, any final words?
Go back Rage Taldy's War.
Links in the description. They've been chucking in chat all night. Thank you, chat. Shelby, any final words?
Yeah, Rage Taldy War #1, and then next week I'll be launching Rage Taldy War 2 and 3 and 4, just for George.
You'll be hearing about my refund requests.
Shaking his head. Look at this.
Rick says, actually, I just backed it again. Actually,
let's check. That's awesome, Rick.
Have you got any more backers since we started? So you're at 324.
This guy.
Rick's the man.
325.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Rick's fun.
I'll take it.
Rick loves comics.
Yeah,
I like comics too.
Yeah, Rick said something earlier. I know Rick backs a lot of things even outside of like the CG realm. he does the Lady Death stuff. We've talked about it. He's a big fan of the Lady Death books and stuff, and so I know he gets a lot of that stuff too.
All right.
He likes the
that's it.
90s. He likes all the 90s retro stuff. So.
All right. Thanks, chat. We're heading off. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week or later in the week. Yeah, back Rage Charlie's War. See you later.